Why is it that you feel stuck, lost and confused, wondering what direction your life is moving in? Could it be that you overthink absolutely everything and spend a lot of the time in your head? Or could it be that you've never considered actually inviting your heart and your gut along to have a conversation? But let's introduce the heart and the gut. Let's give them a wee seat, pull up a chair and see what today's episode unfolds. Now, we've all been there. The head is the one that shouts the loudest, right? So it's the one that gets listened to most. The head keeps receipts like it's some sort of real housewife counting up just so that it can show you exactly what's happened in the past, when the heart's just saying to you, know, this is what I really would like to happen, and really wanting that feeling of nurture, joy, peace, and the gut saying, hold on a wee minute. Let me tell you an example of how I used this just the other day. I was heading out to a workshop on exactly this, the head, the heart and the gut. And what had happened before it is I had to take my wee dog out, all right, and this is just an excuse to show my wee dog on the screen for you. And we have communal gardens, so we share our gardens, but I was taking her out for a quick pee because it would have been a few hours when I was going out to do this workshop. And what had happened is I was walking around the communal gardens and she'd had a wee sniff at every blade of grass because I think she sensed I was going out. Anyway, that aside. And a man from across the way had come over and he'd said to me, he'd put some stuff down on the grass that means that the dogs around here wouldn't leave their mess. And instantly, boom, my head went into, you did what? And all I could hear in that moment was my head saying, who is this guy? What is this? What's down? Is this going to harm my dog? Not just my dog, but the birds in nature around the place. What's going on here? So I didn't actually in that moment have the kind of capacity to say, right, okay, and logically rationalise and have a conversation. I just said, right, okay, that's fine. And me and the dog had moved on. But when we were on our walk, right, I was absolutely livid because all I was thinking about is what the head was sending me. This, who does this guy think he is? This isn't just his space. Oh my goodness, where else would the dogs do their business? Da-da-da-da. And the list was going on and on and on and on. And my head was like firing them off so fast. And I got in the house and I could feel my body just feeling really quite like a tightly wound up coil. And I put the dog in and I was getting organised because I was just about to head out. But I had to stop for a minute because I was away to teach this course and all I could think about was this man across the road. But interestingly, what I done was I thought, right, okay, let's bring the head, heart and gut here. So I took it to the head and I already had it in the head anyway because that was the first thing that was shouting ever so loud. And you've already heard that. Who was he? Why did he think that this was okay? What about the other dogs and wildlife around the place? Did it have chemicals in it? Was it going to be harmful? And then I was like, wait a wee minute, let's step into the heart with this. And in my heart space, it was very different. It was a lot more calm. And it was like, right, okay, there was a bit more understanding for this guy. Firstly, he told me, right? So I knew. He didn't have to tell me, did he? Secondly, maybe the guy has been a wee bit fed up of picking up if people haven't picked up their dog's mess. I do always pick up my dog's mess whenever she's leaving me parcels. And the space in that really gave me a wee bit of extra room. But when I took it into the gut, instantly what the gut had to say to me was, this isn't about me and my dog. This is actually just about this guy's sense of safety, where he is, what he doesn't actually like. And like I said, maybe people haven't been picking up after themselves. And I know that it might seem to you a tiny example or something that might not seem that big in the grand scheme of things, but it was just something that happened so recent and feels relevant, especially because when I had went to teach the workshop, we did get chatting about it, but it was so good for me because I didn't leave my house in the state of being in my head and effing and jeffing about this guy across the way. Instead, I left my house thinking, this is a really good example to take to today to show people that even in the simplest things, even in the smallest of disputes, that you might not find quite big. We can find how the head, heart and the gut can really give us that wee bit more clarity. I'm not going about side-eyeing this guy out the back anymore. Not that I wasn't at all, but you just need to look out for me in the bulldog side-eye, because let me tell you, that's a thing. He doesn't have to do that at all. And instead, I've got a wee bit more understanding for my neighbours, and yeah, okay, maybe we'll just not pass his patch of grass for a while. That's all right too. In the past, you might have noticed there's been a bit of conflict between the head, the heart and the gut, because the head does always want to be right, and the heart just wants to make sure that you're all right, and the gut's saying, hold on, let's check everything out for the facts. And it's interesting because when you live from a space of being in the head all the time, what you might find is that you analyse so much in life. You might even see a text message pop up on your phone, you're reading it and you're going, all right, okay, how do I reply to this? And you're going, right. And you type out a text and then you check it. And then you type it back out again and you check it. And then eventually you press send. What happens in the head is you'll see the person replying because 3 dots appear on the screen, and you'll have a wee look and you'll wonder what they're going to say. And you'll see those wee 3 dots, and then, they might disappear, oh no, and then they're not texting. And internally what's happening here is the head's worked out a whole scenario of something that's going on with the other person that you're messaging. The head is saying, oh no, this is what's going to happen here. And the heart is saying, oh, keep me safe. And the gut is saying, hold on, let's just see. I feel as if my gut almost wants to say it's a bit of a wise old man. So we've invited the head in, the heart and the gut. They've got a seat, all right? Now bring in the difficult situation that you have. Bring it to mind. I normally say, think about it on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, it is not difficult at all. 10 being, oh my goodness, this is just absolutely mental. All right. Pick between a 4 and a 5 is where I would go, because I don't want you swimming in it. I just want you to sort of dip the toe in and see how you feel with it. And we can bring that difficult situation that you've got to the head firstly. And what I want to ask the head is, what does it have to say about this difficult situation? Have a listen. It might be coming up with facts, or what it perceives as facts. It probably is coming up with some fears as well. And it might even be that it's trying to warn you and keep you safe. But thank the head for showing up, because it has shown up. But we can pass the mic on now to the heart. We can allow for the heart to have its say. And listen to what the heart has to say about this situation. Listen to what the heart needs you to know. It might sound a bit softer. It might even feel as if there's a bit more room around it. It might even to you be something where you haven't actually listened to your heart, because quite a lot of people try and switch off the heart just in case they get hurt. But it's okay. The heart can have its say here. It's safe to do so. Notice if the heart has anything else to tell you about this difficult situation. And then lastly, let's hand the mic over to the gut. Remembering that the intuition and anxiety are not the same thing, but sometimes your gut is a bit drunk and you're confusing your gut instinct with anxiety. Anxiety can wear many masks, and I think that sometimes it shows up and it kind of tries to disguise itself as that intuition. Anxiety feels jangly, whereas that intuition feels like a calmer, knowing almost. And just sit with the gut and ask the gut what it needs you to know. Try not to get caught up in that crystal ball thing that sometimes happens when we think about the gut intuition. Just be aware. Notice what it tells you to be true. And it might even feel like there's more room again around this situation. But really just sit with it for a moment, and you'll know that the head, the heart and the gut have all had different things to say about this situation. maybe even entirely different perspectives. And it might even be that in the past you haven't brung in the head, the heart and the gut together. It might just be that you've been used to listening to only one. And how useful would it be to bring 3 now to the table? To have 3 different perspectives? To be able to just rationally take a moment to sit with it and see what's going on. It would be like that wee inner counsel, wouldn't it? That wee inner counsel of knowing. How nice. And how nice would it feel actually to begin to trust yourself a little bit more? I think that would be lovely. So most people are living from the space of their heads. And this is where the problem lies, because when you do live from that space in your head, what happens is you worry so much, you become so overwhelmed. This is where the burnout lives, because you'll be overthinking so much in your life. You'll be worried about getting things wrong, how you'll be perceived. But if we take a moment to bring the head, the heart and the gut into the room, then we'll be able to see that it might just expand and allow for you to have a better understanding of yourself and of others as well. I think that it's a wonderful tool. And what I'll do as well is I'll leave in the comments some journaling prompts, all right? And if you bring your journal to it, then you'll be able to have a wee bit of back and forth, bring a difficult situation to mind and write it out. Come back to this again and again, because I think that it's such a lovely technique, and it just means that when the head does start, shouting and bawling and trying to be the only thing that's heard in the room, the heart and the gut can also have a go at this situation as well. It now means that when you're relying on that overthinking mind to be able to solve your problems, the heart will come in with a bit of deeper understanding, and then the gut again can come in with that knowledge, intuition, instinct on what is the right thing. So you don't even have just one thing to go by. Now you have 3, but those 3 actually can appear to give you different things, as you already know, but it might even be the difference between you carrying on overthinking a situation for 3 or 4 weeks to whittling it down to a day. How good would that be to get your time back? That would be amazing, wouldn't it? So have a look at the journaling prompts that are in the comments. I hope that you enjoy it. Please leave me some comments. Let me know how you got on with this. And let me know. And if you want to share what your difficult situation was and the sassy stuff that, I know I'm saying sassy, but I'm speaking for myself here, the sassy stuff that the mind comes up with, pop them in the comments. What does your heart say? What does your gut have to say? I'd love to read them, because it fascinates me, and it really gives me a little bit of understanding in who you are as well. And one thing, before I go, be gentle with yourself. All right? Bye for now.